Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're looking at the AddiesDive BB58 homage. So I won this watch over on a Reddit contest, watchdives.com. They kind of partnered up with AddiesDive and made this watch, and they held a contest over there asking for feedback. I gave my feedback, and I won it for some reason. I don't know why my feedback was any different than anyone else's, but yeah, I won the watch, and I'm just going to pay it forward since it's not something that I would personally wear. It's a little bit too big, but I'm going to give this watch away. So stick around to the end of the video, and I'll let you know how to enter to win this thing. So the retail price on this watch is $209. At the time of this video, it's a little bit of a sale. It's selling for $200, and that does include FedEx Express shipping. So you're going to get this watch pretty quickly. And the watch is offered in 3 different colorways. You have this red bezel version here, you have a all black version, and then you have a white dial with a blue bezel. So for your $200, roughly $200, you're getting a 44mm 316L stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, screw down crown, screw down case back, 200 meters of water resistance, a solid stainless steel bracelet, and a PT5000 automatic movement. So if you're a fan of larger watches, you think you're going to really like this one. It's a pretty nice watch. It's just a little bit too big for me. So let's get into the review. But before we do a wrist check. Today I am wearing my Corju Speedmaster homage. Still really like this watch. 55 bucks or something like that, I think, something. If you don't have one of these, I suggest going and getting one. I will leave the review link for that up here. All right, so let's get some calipers on this thing. 44mm is what it says, right? Pretty sure it's spot on. 44.2-ish. Got a height of 12.8mm, so pretty thin, especially including the dome crystal there. You've got 22mm lug width. Lug tip to lug tip is 41.9mm. And overall lug to lug with the male end link on the bracelet is 55.2mm. So this is definitely a pretty big watch. It does wear pretty good, and that's because it's thin and you got some nice curve down to the lugs there. So I like how they shaped the case on this thing. But yeah, it does wear pretty good for such a large watch. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on the wrist for you. And here it is on my 7.5 inch wrist, and you can see, I mean, this is pretty much the limit for me. I tend to stick to smaller watches, but I do pull it off. So if you're a big fan of larger watches, this is actually a really nice option for you. So you got nice curvature to the lugs there, and yeah, I mean, it just looks great with the matte bezel insert, that nice crystal we'll talk about in a little bit. Yeah, looks really good. Out in some direct sunlight, as you can see here. AR coating, doing a really good job, and I just think, I mean, it looks really, really good. Bracelet has been very comfortable as well, and yeah, pretty happy with it. I do have to wear it a little tight, but just because it's so heavy, but otherwise it's a very comfortable watch. I'm gonna go throw it on some straps that I have. I don't have many, but I'll throw them on a couple, and just to give you an idea of what it looks like. And here we are on a black rubber strap poached from a Seiko homage. Definitely not my favorite type of strap, but it's the only one that looks halfway decent with this watch. Yeah, it fits, again, very comfortable, hugs to the wrist nicely, and yeah, it does look good. I think just a black, maybe tropic strap would look really good on this thing. Let's go throw it on. Here's probably a perfect strap combo. Get that dark red and the khaki. I mean, it just goes really, really good with it. And luckily, this one is included in the box, so you'll be getting this if you win the watch. Yeah, I think it does look really good. Even with one layer underneath it, still sits really nice on the wrist there, as you can see. But yeah, this one does look good. Let me know what you guys think. Oh. And here it is on just a black ribbed NATO single pass. I don't have any double pass that fits this thing, so sorry I can't show you that, but yeah, I mean, this is probably how I would wear it. I think a black rubber strap is also going to be a really good option for this thing, if you're not into the bracelet, that is, because the bracelet's actually pretty decent, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But there you go. Let's go back inside. We'll get back to the review. All right, getting close, talking about the case finishing on this watch. It's actually done really nicely. It's a fully brushed case. You have vertical brushing on the top of the lugs here. You've got horizontal brushing across the side of the case. Nicely done. I don't really see anything to complain about really at all. Yeah, very nicely done. It is pretty well honed. You don't have any sharp edges on the bottom or anything like that. Nice transition here. Got a little hair. Nice transition from the sides to the top here. And yeah, I mean, it just looks really good. You've got a signed 3 o'clock crown here with the AddiesDive logo on it. Nicely done. Lots of grip on that crown. You do have a nice little red ring on that one, and that's only on the red version, the red bezel version. Everything else is, I don't think it has any ring on there. So yeah, it does look pretty good. Pretty happy with the case finishing on this, guys. I've got no real complaints at all. The case back, as typical with AddiesDive, you got a really nicely signed case back there, circular brushed, just your simple tools to get it off. And yeah, very happy with the case back. It's not sharp or anything like that. The bottom of the case, surprisingly, the bottom of the lugs there is actually bead blasted, which is a little surprising. Not a bad thing at all, just wanted to mention that. But yeah, really nice case back with the spec sheet around the outside. So let's talk about the bezel on this thing. So first off, the bezel action. This is a 120 click unidirectional bezel. I'll let you listen to the clicks. Oh. And I mean, it's very, very audible. Feels a little light, maybe a little almost tinny feeling. It's not a very solid bezel feeling, but I mean, the bezel, it locks in. There's maybe just a little bit of play, just a teeny tiny bit of play in it. But I mean, for the most part, once it's locked in place, it's pretty solid. Yeah, lots of grip with the coin edge bezel here. And let's check the alignment. Whoops. And the alignment is pretty much spot on. Yeah, very nicely done. The bezel itself, again, you get really nice finishing on it. That nice coin edge bezel replicates the Tudor Black Bay really nicely. The top edge of it is a circular brushing, and yeah, very thin bezel. It's slightly sloped. The bezel insert, it's listed as ceramic, but I mean, unless they're doing something kind of funny to it, I think it's an aluminum bezel, and that's fine. I've got no problems with aluminum bezels. I think they look really cool on these watches. It's a nice matte bezel, silver printing. You got a Lume pip here at the 12 o'clock position. It is ever so slightly off, but I mean, it's nitpicking here. But yeah, I think the printing on the bezel is done really, really good, or whatever it is. It's not really printing, I guess, but yeah, really happy with it, and it looks pretty cool. So the crystal on this, we'll test it real quick. It is sapphire crystal, as you would kind of expect in this price range. There's a lot of blue AR coating on it, as you can see there. It is a little bit distracting, but for the most part, it's doing its job. It's cutting down on reflections, and yeah, some people like that blue, some people don't like it. I'll leave that up to you guys, but it does do a really good job of cutting down on reflections. As you can see here, it is a nice box dome crystal, so nice curvature on the corners there. It gives a little bit of distortion. It actually sometimes hides the minute track, which is not usually a problem, but I just wanted to mention that. But it does look really good, and you have no distortion on the edges or in the middle there. Even at extreme angles, as you can see here, you can still even see the hints. So a really nice crystal on it. I do really like it. So getting real close to the dial here. This is a matte black dial. You see it's got the gold printing on it. It looks really, really good. The AddiesDive logo there, printed nicely. Even, I mean, lots and lots of little detail in that logo, and it's still pretty darn crisp. Automatic 200 meters. At the 6 o'clock, you've got a nicely printed minute track around the outside. The handset on this, really nicely done. The applied indices, again, really nicely done. I've got no real complaints with the dial on this thing. Even everything is aligned nicely. It's a no-date dial, which we'll talk about in just a second. But yeah, you got square indexes, except at the 3, 6, 9, and 12. I wish they were round, but you know, it is what it is. I don't mind the square indices. I just would have preferred round ones. But yeah, the handset on it, like I mentioned, really nicely done, gold plated, and yeah, I mean, they're just really nicely sized. The second hand reaches right out to the minute track. Minute hand, same thing, right out, touches the edge of the indice there, you can see. And I do think the hour hand is perfectly proportional. So yeah, really happy with the handset on it. Really happy with the dial itself. Very clean, nicely done. And yeah, it just looks good. They got all the proportions right on it, I think. The Lume on this thing is an absolute monster. So I'm going to pop up a Lume shot right now, and you can see it against a couple of the other big Lume monsters in my watch collection. And I mean, it holds its own, and it lasts all night long. BGW9, it's applied evenly, and yeah, it just looks really, really good. They did a really good job loading this thing up with Lume. So let's talk about the movement in this thing. So the movement is a PT5000. It is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown, as you can see here. Nice pop out action to the crown. The crown does have a little bit of play in it, but not much. And yeah, first position is your ghost date position, so there is a date wheel behind there. I don't know if you can hear it clicking, but it is back there. Second position hacks the second hand, and that lets you set the time. So everything works as it should. PT5000, I haven't had any problems with them personally. I know some people do have problems with them, but I haven't. This is my 5th one, I think, and I haven't had any issues with it. This thing is running, I believe it was -8 seconds when I tested it the other day, and that was brand new right out of the box. So I'm sure it's going to settle a little bit. And yeah, so again, I've got no problems with it. It's 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks, it hand winds, and about 40 hours of power reserve. Yeah, again, not really anything to complain about with the PT5000 yet. The screw in and screw out action, it's a little bit gritty, but it's not horrible. I've definitely had worse, but I've definitely had better. Plenty of grip on that crown though. So, and the crown I think is a little undersized for the case. They could use it, used to be a little bit bigger. On such a large watch like this, you're going to want a crown that maybe just a millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters bigger in diameter would have looked a little bit better. But it's really not distractingly small, I don't think. So let's talk about the bracelet on this thing. So this one is supplied on a 316L stainless steel bracelet. Pretty nice bracelet, fully brushed bracelet. I'll get in real close here. You can see the brushing is nicely done. It matches the case pretty good. The curve down to that first link is pretty sharp, so it does hug the wrist pretty good on this bracelet. You can see it is an oyster style bracelet, but there's a little trick going on here. This is not a 3-link oyster. This is a 1-link oyster. So they got little indents here, as you can see, but I mean, this is one solid piece from here all the way over. I'm not sure why they did that. Obviously, just to probably cut down on cost. It does, I mean, it looks fine. One thing I do like about this is just the tolerance between the links is very tight, as you can see here, and it just kind of it just has a really cool look to it, and something you don't really see on sub-style bracelets. There's a little bit extra gappage in between each of these links. So yeah, I do think it looks really good. It is a 22 millimeter bracelet, like I mentioned. It does taper down to 20 millimeters at the clasp. It does have push pins for adjusting, as you can see, the sides of the links. They're actually pretty thin links, which is not a negative at all. I think this thing feels balanced on the wrist. Yeah, just something I noticed. And the clasp on it, the outer shell, is just pressed. There's no signing or anything like that. I wish they would sign it. Outer clasp is pressed. Inner clasp is milled, as you can see here. Really nice, solid feeling. I'm glad they're using this and not the press clasp that you see on some of them. So it seems like they're trying to go upmarket a little bit. Very solid action on it. I've had no problems with it. Very comfortable, very thin, low profile. You do have 3 micro adjust here, as you can see. No diver's extension or anything like that. But overall, I think the the bracelet is pretty solid. It's better than the other AddiesDives that I've had in my collection, but definitely it still needs a little ways to go to get to, say, like San Martin or Kronos. But yeah, I mean, this thing it's pretty nice. One of my main complaints with it is the end links. So as you can see, I mean, you can wiggle them around in there, and as you tap this thing as you wear it, I don't know if it's going to do it now, but as you wear it, you can hear this link kind of rattling around. And I don't know, I think that's because of the spring bar they use. If they used a little bit bigger spring bar, it would keep that a little bit more snug to the case. So AddiesDive, if you're listening, maybe swap out to a slightly larger spring bar, and yeah, it might help a little bit. It's really not that bad though on the wrist. So there you go, guys. That's the AddiesDive BB58 homage. Just came out, 44 millimeters. So if you like the bigger watches, it's a pretty nice one. It looks really good. A huge thank you to WatchDives for picking me to win this watch. Like I said, I'm going to be giving this away. So if you are interested in winning this watch, head on over to Reddit, our Chinese watches, and I will be giving this watch away in there. So look for the sticky post at the top. When this review goes live, we'll have 1 week, and you just go over there, drop a comment down below, and you'll win this watch. Ships to anywhere in the world. So head on over there. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Chinese Watches subreddit. If you're a fan of these type of watches, that's where you're going to want to be. So lots and lots of content over there, and a really good group of guys too. So yeah, definitely go over there, enter to win this watch, and don't think that commenting here is going to win you this watch. It won't. So head on over to Reddit. I told the guys at WatchDives I would do the giveaway on Reddit, since that's where they are, and that's where they're going to go to solicit some feedback. So yeah, definitely head over to Reddit. So if you don't win this watch and you do want to buy it, head to the link down below, the WatchDives link, and I will post a direct link to this watch on WatchDives. And yeah, buy yourself it, because it's pretty cool. If you like the bigger watches, it's a pretty nice watch. I won't be posting any more pictures of this on my Instagram page, but if you are interested in following me, check out the link down below as well. If you have any questions or comments about this watch, drop them down below, and I'll be happy to talk to you guys. Yeah, really interested to see what you guys think about this watch. And I have been talking to WatchDives, and if the sales of this watch go well, they will consider making a smaller one. So I think they already quoted me a 38 or 39 millimeter case with an NH35 or NH38 round indices, and I believe BGW9 Lume, and I think that was it, on a bracelet as well. And I think the price was $170, something like that. So yeah, go check them out, and let them know that you want a smaller watch. Simple as that. They have released a couple cool 39 millimeter Explorer watches, and they do look really good. So go check them out, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.